everybody. Welcome to an edition of Blue Blood on the Mainline. I'm your host, Curtis Sumpter, and I'll be joined today by one of my favorite people of all time, one of my best friends, Ross Condon. What's up, Ross? What's going on?
What's going on? Great to see you on here, Kurt.
I know, man, it's been so long. We was just catching up before we started recording. Just that, it's been forever since the last time we actually got a chance to kick it, and we definitely got to, do more of this, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking to my wife, which I know you know well, and said, 15 years ago, other than hanging out with her my senior year, I probably spent the next most time with you, and then how life happens. You go in different
Mhm,
directions, and
mhm.
unfortunately, I wish we could do this more often.
Mhm. For sure, for sure. So for the audience, for those who don't know Ross Condon, Ross came to Villanova, I believe, in 2004, correct?
2003, your sophomore year. So
Three.
yeah,
All right,
three.
yeah, so
Yep.
2003. And was there for 4 years, shared my fifth year with me as well. Played an integral part in the development of the program, one of the toughest walk-ons who pretty much set the standard, along with Tommy Grace and Lou Rusky of, what a Villanova walk-on the standard is basically, not only academically, but at the same time, you got to be over their ball and be one of their guys as well. So Ross and I became really, really good friends. Ross helped everybody, every guard that everyone was a fan of get better on the day to day. He was their arch nemesis, and we just had some really really good times, man. So Ross, why don't you tell everybody how you got to Villanova?
Yeah, so Villanova, I think I've told this story once or twice before, but I got off the wait list very, very late, and then was called by Billy Land, actually, who I know is tipping off here in a couple minutes. So best of luck to him in the A10 tournament. But kind of said, hey, you're off the wait list, and at that point, I think you were part of the crew that was sitting out a couple games to start the season, your sophomore year, and they needed a couple extra bodies to play in some games early on, and said, "Would you come to Villanova and would you wear a jersey?" And obviously, it didn't take him too long to finish the sentence that, I said, "Let's do it," and then showed up to campus, and again, remember meeting all you guys. I wasn't there in the summer, and obviously, everyone's kind of, who's this guy that's showing up that didn't have to go through boot camp, on the Friday mornings. But, really quickly, you guys welcomed me in, and then, got to spend 4 years with you and Mike and Bump and the rest of the crew. And then kind of went from there. And then I obviously did the whole coaching thing, as I know you did as well at one point in your life, for 14 years, and spent my final stop at Penn State for a decade. And then recently transitioned out of coaching, and did a little NIL stuff last year, as it was new kind of to college sports to see what it was about. And then had this
Yeah.
great opportunity present itself this year to work with Teamworks, who, if you're not familiar with it, it's the operating system for sports. Villanova is actually a elite partner. They've been using it, I think, almost since the start, but really just helps teams organize their day to day off the court in terms of scheduling, travel, messaging, kind of all the in between of communicating off the court, which, again, being a coach, I feel like that helps you on the court as well.
Awesome, Ross, man. I didn't know exactly the intricate parts of teamworks, but I'm glad you've given me that analysis. But like you said, a coach, a team being organized is essential, because time is of the essence, and what you can do in your time and how efficient you can be with your time, it definitely does translate over onto the basketball court. So that's dope. I'm glad
Yeah,
you're
it's
part of that.
actually it's a funny story of when I was at Penn State. Obviously, I got to learn about Teamworks, and how it was kind of explained to me is the CEO, Zach Maritas, was a Duke football player. And I'll tell you the quick story, and then tell me who it makes you think of, because it made me think of it right away. But
Right.
he always kept kind of running into the locker room and then having to throw his pads on, which obviously football takes a little longer to get ready for practice. And then they'd always be like, "Hey, you're late." So he'd have to run the stadium stairs. But all the time he'd be like, "I have a class on the other side of campus." And he kept telling the coaching staff, like, "I have a class. Like, I'm not trying to be late. Like, I just don't have enough time to get over here, get my pads on. But he kept running the stadium stairs, and then he had computer science course of like, fit something in your life. And he was like, I got to fix the communication between like our staff and the academic staff and the players so that, this problem doesn't happen to anyone else and no one else is running stadium stairs. And I don't know, can you think of a teammate it resonates with?
Jay Frey or all of us. Who it,
Yeah,
it
but
didn't
Jay
matter,
Frey, I
but
said,
definitely
hey,
Jay
I
Frey. But
have this teammate because I used to be on the green court all the time,
yeah,
in the pavilion shooting, and Jay would come, I'll call it walking, but at that point it was a little hobbling through the garage door.
yeah,
Sure enough, someone would yell, hey, Jason, let's go. And
yeah,
Jason would always be like, I got class. Like, I'm walking as fast as I can. And, at that point, it took Jay a little longer than most, almost like a
sure,
football player to get ready
yeah,
for practice. He had to put on
yeah,
his pads and his sleeves and all that. So as
correct,
soon as they
correct,
said that, I was like, I'll listen because I had that teammate. So
yeah.
it was really funny. And again, as soon as you hear the story, you know who it was on our team.
That's crazy, man. Just in my short time in coaching and being on the ops side and player development side and being a bridge between basketball and the business side along and players, it was hard, like communication. And it's easy for someone to say, I didn't get that or this and that, and you're responsible. And sometimes you might have, up to, over 100 people on a chain that needs information on a daily, to do their jobs and so on and so forth. So definitely being on the same page is essential, man. So I want everybody to know you spent 4 years at Villanova. You came there my sophomore year. Well, and you said like you said, you got a chance to play right away. Um, during those uh those times of NCAA violations with the guys, man. What was that experience like? Because usually, I guess obviously walk-ons coming at the end of the game, or it was a blowout. But what was that like? Actually starting the season and really being a focal point and I think it really got you closer with the team and the guys trusting you more too in the beginning as well too because you were a focal point and you did really really well. I think you surprised a lot of us, man. How was that experience for you?
Yeah, no, it was awesome to I was put on the jersey for real. Not the reversible jersey, but the one with the name on the back. But no, it was awesome. Obviously, the Temple game was the midnight game, and then we went out to California and played the Division III Redlands team, which again I don't think that's happened ever again in Villanova history. And we went out to Maui, but like you said, just to be a part of it on the court obviously is really special. And then to transition, then find my way back kind of, down to the end of the bench to, find what my role was going to be for the next 4 years. But again, obviously to share that experience, now having two little kids to have a little game tape at one point to share will be awesome. But again, I think it just really connected everyone really quickly. And, as that season built and then obviously built off that season, I think was those early days definitely connected our team, which just helped us as we kind of started call it the next era of Villanova basketball back then in 2003 2004.
I remember the first, couple weeks you were, balling. Like you were showing you had some game. And we were cracking jokes like, damn, just whoever was guarding you or whatever, just talking shit, whatever. And you told us, you was like, yeah, I guess you start feeling it too. He's like, yeah, I used to be good back in the day. We were like, what are you talking about? He was like, yeah, I was ranked pretty high growing up. So we were cracking. He was like, yeah, I was like the Jewish Jordan or something, crack something funny like that. And we were just joking and seeing it. You showed us. We're like, all right, but no, instantly. I mean, Kyle can tell you, Randy can tell you, Alan, Mikey, Tommy, whoever was out there, like you instantly, made an impact in practice. And we didn't lose a beat when you were out there. And offensively, defensively, highly competitive, made the shot. And just very, very high IQ, which was great, for us because you had just a bunch of athletes who probably didn't understand the game, running too fast, but you kind of helped with that as well with us. So I think we just bonded so quickly during those times. because it was a lot of things that was just different amongst the team, and you know, and also I think you got into a fight pretty early into the season, so we had to do, come to your rescue and just stand up for one of our guys. So all of that played a part in us just you just joining the brotherhood right away, and it was pretty much like you was just recruited like everyone else.
Yeah, and I think that's what made us really special, and you see, obviously, I sat next to Bake, who's now a head coach, and you coach, and I know Jason's coached a little bit, and it really just showed, guys that really not only love playing the game, but, like, love to think the game, and I think this made us really special and really good, to have, guys that were talented and also had a high IQ. Obviously, Mike and Dwayne will be on the bench. We turn
Yeah.
on the TV tomorrow night. So again, just so many guys that have ended up in coaching is not shocking based on, the different things that went on the floor and the different conversations we'd have in the locker room about basketball and just why things went different ways and why we did different things.
Was it your experience at Villanova that led you down a path to wanting to coach, or was that something you saw yourself doing eventually? And what did you take from Villanova to kind of pretty much, I guess, establish your blueprint as far as being a coach, if you took anything?
Yeah, no, I took a lot. I think early on I fought it just because I just never, you always want to be a player. And then, when you figure, this is probably it, which I know you went through that a couple different times in your career of,
Right.
am I done or not? Just having really a firsthand experience in coaching. I mean, obviously, Coach Wright, like who better to learn from than him? But then, Coach Gunning and Pat Chambers, Billy Lane, Fred Hill, you name it, of all these guys who've moved on and been head coaches, not surprisingly, and just to every day interact with them. And if you were, 18 to 22, it's hard to shut up and listen. It's still hard for me, as you know. But, you just listened, you learned so much and learned, not just about on the court, but off the court. And, the more information you gathered, that when I transitioned into my career, I think I was definitely further along than some other people that maybe didn't have the same experience of sitting on a Villanova bench and kind of seeing, especially the ways things happened, thinking about this season, but obviously coming in, I know you were there for coach's first season, but being there his second season, it was an up and down ride, and it was a roller coaster, and you really learned about, just the highs and the lows of a season and the game and everything. And if you were able to take those lessons and use them, especially when I knew the coaching world, it can really help you. And obviously, it helps you in life too. And you always hear everyone talk about attitude, but we saw it firsthand of things happening on the court and off the court in our 4 years of, if you just focus on what's really important, you can make a difference and get better.
I I learned so much sitting out my senior year. Um,
Yeah, I finally had
just
you at the
just
end of the bench to hang out with. It was a lot of fun.
right. We did a lot of hanging out, right? I learned a lot just watching the game, hearing, observing, seeing behind the scenes. Things just slowed down tremendously for me. I guess a lot of it's being in my own head, but as far as the game of basketball, I became just, I think, a better player cerebral wise. And when I came back, even though I was less athletic, I was able to still see the game, and it moved slowly for where I was still able to be efficient in certain areas. And so I can see why someone like yourself who, watched for years, just watching the development of the program and seeing, like, I can't imagine the information you were able to soak up and how shit just makes sense to you. And, especially when you want to go down the road of coaching, like that's an experience that you really just can't fathom. I mean, watching a program literally grow from absolutely nothing to number one in the country, right? And seeing things on a day to day, seeing behind the scenes, seeing what is deemed important and what's not important, and the habits created, and like how it translates to success. It might not be immediate, but
Yep.
it slowly turns. So um definitely. I can say that because even with that 1 year and just my other experiences, just playing and being a part of just the talks of growing a university as far as the basketball program into what you see now. Every other team I played for, worked for, I've always tried to use that same attitude, that mold of the because I've just seen it work.
Yep.
And you think you see parts of it, you like you got it, you got it. Then all of a sudden they do like, you ain't got it. You gotta do this. But sometimes you can't overspeak or whatever. You just like these are the things you just gotta do. You gotta make important. It doesn't matter. And it's a lot of it is really humility too. People gotta be willing to have a little humility and not be so territorial about things and have one common goal. So in sports, it's hard to get everybody on the same
It's
page.
really
I
hard
mean,
because again, I
they
say
need
that
teamwork. They need
that's
teamwork.
what makes you elite too, right? Like if you don't
Yeah,
believe you're the best, then you're not going to be the best. But it's funny, the more the more that I think about that, and I've thought about it a couple times this year, is watching Justin come back, like a senior. He sat on the bench here the first year, or sorry, first half of the year, and you see it week by week of kind of him, physically getting back in shape. Which I remember, it took you. You said your game changed because there were
right,
certain things that we knew that I won't call it the old Kurt, but the fully healthy Kurt, and you weren't fully healthy
yeah,
until probably
sure,
mid-season. Like, you took one dribble, you were by someone, you didn't have to make another decision.
right, right.
But because like you weren't there was another decision to make. And watching Justin, you can kind of see it happen week by week of different things
Good
that he's had
days,
to do a little
right.
bit, but
Uh-huh.
also the things that he probably has watched and seen, and he knows help defenders coming from there, and he's making that next play for them. And obviously the coach in me is can't stop thinking about that type of stuff. But I think he's thinking about he's second in assists, I think, in Big Ten play, and he's played half as
Right,
many games.
right.
Just because he's able to come in there and make the right play, again, being a senior, but also watching for 10 games of, all right, this isn't working. So how can I
Right.
make this work for us? And you see everyone else kind of now, kind of sliding into, where they need to be. And, again, it's, you talk about maybe not the immediate success when he came back. And again, I think they went on the road to like
It
Providence
won
and
like
Creighton,
6 out
which,
of like 7 or something like that,
yeah,
at
but
one point.
after
So
that, like you get on a
right.
roll, and who knows with things coming up, like
Mhm.
you start playing together, and you believe in attitude, and you feel your role, like it could be really exciting here the next couple days.
I agree. We so did you see the game on Saturday against
I
UConn?
caught a little of this Saturday. You know what? I was
Right,
actually at the Xavier game. I'm living now in Cincinnati, so I
right,
had the
right,
chance
right.
to sit courtside.
Yo, man, don't let
Check it out.
wifey steer you into that. I know don't Villanova, man, Villanova.
Hey, V's up. Trust me. There's no X's allowed in my house. It's part of the rules. It's allowed to happen
All right,
the
yeah,
neighborhood over, but not in this
all right.
house. V's up only.
Yeah, shout out to Mary too, man. She's dope, man. Awesome human being. But yeah, I know she loves the Natty, and I know she's going crazy over Joe Burrow. Trust me, I'm a Joe Burrow fan myself, so I'm coming to a game and I'm coming out there to visit because I got to see my man
Hey,
Joe.
you
I
know,
got to see my man Joe.
since my Redskins went to the Commanders, I thought it would be a good time to jump on the Bengals bandwagon. So I'm in on black and
You're right.
orange.
You did it.
You know,
Smooth
all we do
transition.
is go to Super. I showed up. They went to Super Bowl. Not shocking.
All
So
right, Russ. I'm with you, man. I'm like, we better get A-Rod these Jets or something. But I mean, I don't know what we're gonna do, man. But no, that's cool. But we thought if we got this game this past Saturday, this past weekend against UConn, and we got like 2 games in this biggest tournament, definitely would solidify a spot in
yep.
the tournament. So now I'm thinking we gotta get to the championship game and ball out. Like maybe not win it, but we gotta like ball out. Maybe at least to an OT if we don't win it. Maybe against whoever is a top ranked team or something like that. And then maybe they'll put us in at one of those final spots. But we
Yeah,
can do it. I mean, the Garden is like, a home game for us. We
they
just
gave
gotta make
they gave
sure
us
we
the
show
late
up.
night tip, so everyone traveling from Philly
Yeah,
could be there. It's gonna be rocking like we know it is.
rocking.
But yeah, I thought if they got that one, maybe now, they might have to win it out. But again, I don't think you want to leave
Wow.
anything to doubt. So, 4 and 4 days, and you see what happens. But nah, I think it's
They
gonna be
need one of
fun.
them runs we had back your freshman year. And when everybody thought we was going home the first night, boom, we beat Providence. Everybody's like, what? It beat Providence. Then boom, we beat Seton Hall. It's like, yo, yeah, beat Seton Hall. Then we had UConn. Then they didn't even play Ben Gordon.
Yeah.
And we were like, I know, so I didn't play on Mecca. We was like, oh, we got this. And we took them down to the wire. Ben Gordon wound up doing some amazing things. Shout out to BG, #3 pick, New York legend. Um, yeah, man, he did some amazing things that night, man. We needed you out there that night. You
Ha!
ain't. We had everybody. Ben scored on everybody but you. So it's you could have held them down. I'm sure.
Yeah, but no, I think they're playing their best basketball. And again, to have everyone, again, we went through so many injuries in our time there. To have everyone available and healthy helps. And I think the best thing is they haven't changed who they are throughout the year. They just have stuck to what they do. And everyone always says Villanova, but they stuck to Villanova basketball, and they believed in it, and the coaching staff believed in it. And everyone's just they've gotten better and better and better. And you want to be, as coach says, the best team at the end of the year. And we're here at the best time of the year. And, you know,
Facts.
you got to go out and show up and see what happens. So
So what do you think about next year? 'Cause so next year, potential team.
you're already
Could
moving on
be.
to next year. We got the most exciting 4 days, and you want to go to next year?
Hey, I swear, we just haven't been to. We talk about it all. Like, no, I know we're gonna do well this year too, but I'm just thinking of next year too. So Justin could potentially return next year. Eric Dixon could return
He's playing. Hey, he's
next
playing
year.
such great basketball right now, isn't he?
Right, right, right. Obviously, Mark Armstrong could return. We would lose Caleb Slade. We would have Jordan back. Um, the team could be all right next year, man. What do you think about that? Do you recommend that that Justin stays? Because like you said, he can lead. What do you think
Yeah.
about that?
You know what? I'm not one to have an opinion anyway on that one. Obviously, if anyone has opinion,
Come on, man. You gotta have an opinion.
you've
You
been
gotta
through
have a
that.
thought.
Again, I think it's, just mentally and physically, where he's at. And again, obviously you go through the process and you get the feedback, which I know you did a couple times, during your career, and it's even so different now. And you just make the best decision. Obviously, as a Villanova fan, yeah, if he comes back and he's a year out, he's gonna be that much healthier and we're gonna be that much better. But you know, if it's time that he says, "Hey, it's time for me to go," the best thing about Villanova is, there's guys ready to step up. And with how college basketball is, you know, I think as much as people don't want to hear it all the time, the transfer portal's there. And there's no better place to be than Villanova. And you know, we could get another older guy to slide in that wants to be part of what's there. And obviously the younger guys are going to get better because they got thrown into the fire this year. And anything can happen.
I don't think you could teach an old dog new tricks. So I think the transfer portal is probably not our best friend unless we get a pup. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? We gotta
yeah.
get a young
Though
pup.
college
We gotta
basketball,
get, we gotta get
college
a young pup.
basketball, again, it's just it's so
That's what it's
different
just
now.
changed.
It's
It's
changed.
different. It's
And if
different.
you can find someone that like Caleb, fit Villanova.
Caleb, Eric, like it's been a few that's been able to just, come in there and just assimilate, it's because it's culture. It really is culture and humility. And honestly, winning takes care of everything as you see. And
Absolutely.
that's something people don't understand. And that's something I learned, early on, which Coach Wright is gonna, humility. That's one of the things you just learn.
Yep.
And
Hard
every
luck.
team has a leading scorer. It doesn't matter. The worst team in the league has a leading scorer, like all those things, but they're not winning. It's like how you win. It's selling you on that Villanova was Duke before Duke, and you're like, what? In my era, I only know Duke. So I think you're lying. Like, you know what you're talking about, but seeing that winning takes care of everything, and that's when you see teams who win, they get three guys in the first round, four guys in the first round, six total draft picks, things of that nature. And it's not just because they're just uber talented. They are talented, but they're winning. How effective are they? Look at those guys we got right now in the league, man. Josh Hart
I'm gonna
got New
say,
York
like
on
you think
fire.
about,
Jalen Brunson.
you think about guys that, and again, some people take junkyard dog as like they don't hold that in the same respect that, maybe we did at Villanova, but they played that role because they wanted to win. But now
Yeah,
obviously, like, they're developing in their careers, and New York is definitely on fire this week.
on
I
fire.
don't
I remember. I remember as a Sixers assistant, we was doing the pre-draft camps, pre-draft, and we had guys in. And yeah, everybody, have their favorites of guys coming in. And I'm obviously talking hella shit about Villanova guys. But at the same time, I know my guys. I know my guys. And I'm not gonna lie. I was like, listen, these probably aren't good matchups for Josh on a one-on-one. I said, but when we start going 4-on-4 and things of that nature, I said, you're gonna see who Josh Hart is, the shooting, all that stuff that they were saying. I said, just wait till we play. I said, just put the ball in play. When he left there, Josh was on their mind. Now, prior to the skill, all that other stuff they were looking for, yeah, obviously, that's stuff that he's going to get better at. But once you put that ball in the play, all that stuff Josh is going to make. He's going to make that shot when he need to make that shot. He's going to get that steal, get that rebound, get that deflection, dive, loose ball. And as a coach, he's like, I want that kid. Same with Arch. Oh, is Arch really that good? Things of that nature. I'm like, all right, I may say what y'all want to say. I know y'all matching him up against all these top rated guards. I said, but when it's time we put the ball in and play, I said, then you're gonna say, oh, I can see why, I like that guy. And the guys just constantly just show up and they made me look good every time. Like every time we had a camp or something, and you got a Villanova dude, Mufia Taru Yaru. I brought Moof in there. If they wanted Moof, but they was afraid if they signed Moof, he would hurt the team because that's
how hard he played, right?
how hard he played.
Yep.
Like it was like we want him, but he might hurt the guys because he just played so hard. But that's what we need too. So Villanova definitely earned the respect of
Yep.
people in the league, which I thought was was
Who do
was
you think
great.
in the next 4 days can make that impact? I know you've been watching probably a little closer than I am. Like, who's that player that can make those couple winning plays that maybe gets you to Saturday night?
Mark Armstrong, going with Mark Armstrong. That's who I'm going with. I'm going with Mark. I think he's been just like this the whole time. And within his moments, I think he's going to show out at the Garden. I think his speed, his athleticism. I think he's continuing to get more comfortable with how we're playing, and I don't think he's afraid of the big lights. Cam is obviously going to be Cam. Cam is 50-50. Either he gonna have an unbelievable game or he might, just struggle a little bit. He has to get better at just understanding that he can't just drive by everybody, jump over everybody. That's one of the things I had to learn. But he's so talented. But I definitely think Mark is gonna be the one that's gonna be the dark horse, man.
Funny, you went with the young guys. I would go with the old guys. I think it's got to be Slade or Caleb. Like they've been there, they've been under the lights, and again, it's how you want to be kind of not remember, but how you want to walk off the court. And I think they're going to leave it out there, and hopefully all the things they've done over 4 years, the ball bounces in the right direction for them. But I'm excited for it, though. I'll tell you that.
Sure, man. I can't
Yeah,
wait.
I've
We
never had
we
a chance, never had a chance really to watch it all the time. So it's been fun to do.
yeah. Oh, I'm
I've been
sure.
so focused on my own team for so long that now that I can sit back and be a fan, it's been awesome.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
Are
I'm
you going
actually
up to the
heading.
games?
So I'm gonna watch tomorrow night, but I'm actually heading to Africa on Thursday for about 8 days, nine
Oh,
days. Going to South Africa with the family, just hanging out. and so I'll miss some of the game, but I'll be following online,
We got A-Ray,
trying to
right?
check in.
A-Ray's holding it down for us?
Yeah, anyway, we're gonna be holding it down for us, talking his smack. But I'm gonna be watching it, and doing my Twitter thing as well, trying to, comment and see what. Hopefully, I get good service so I can still watch
Watch it
on
on
my
the
phone and get all of that stuff. But I'm excited. I know we're gonna do well. I think this is just gonna be one of those miracle seasons, like just like my your senior year, my fifth year,
Yep.
where people just was like, "Damn, this team." They struggling. We don't know if they're gonna make it in the tournament. We just got in there. We got what, like 20. We got at least like 21 wins or 22 wins that year. I don't even
It
know
was
how we squeaked it
yeah, it
out.
was close.
But we got like we hit the 20 mark, and it was rough. It was rough.
And again,
Missing
well,
games and
I
stuff.
thought there, like, you coming back from injury, and I know Mike got injured towards the end, like, we finally played our
Yeah.
best basketball at the end of the year,
Was
and
at
that's
the
what you
end.
need.
Yeah.
You
That's
need to be
exactly.
peaking now, like, obviously, it makes it easier during the tournament if you win some earlier games, but, hey, if you
Yeah.
get in, you wanna be playing well now, so that's why I'm really I mean, I can't wait to watch it this weekend.
That's good, man. So, Ross, man, I'm so glad to get this chance again to have you on the show. It's overdue. I should have had you on here last year, but just trying to catch up with you. I know the life, the transition, the new job, the family. You got a new addition to the family. So, man, how's that life? How's being a dad?
Yeah, being a dad's been awesome, and, obviously, being around, a little more than coaching and not being on the road so much, being able I got 2 little guys, so, being able to, just hang out with them every day has been awesome, and, who knows, maybe I'll coach them in the future.
Sure, you already
That'll
started,
be
Ross.
my next that'll be my next coaching job.
I'm sure you're already bossing them around right now, telling what to
No,
do.
we're
All
taking
that.
charges, we're taking charges. We're diving on
Got
the floor, they don't have
Down
an
for
option. They don't have an option.
crossing the 45 and feed the post. Like, yeah, all the little things. That's important, man. That's all important, man.
All the
And
details. I
that's
got one
awesome,
more
man.
shout out before we go though. Keith Ergo,
Go ahead, do your thing.
former Villanova assistant, was A10 Coach of the Year today. So shout out to Coach Ergo. Had a chance
Yeah.
to hang out with him at Penn State, and if any Villanova people are in the area, I think they're playing in Brooklyn Thursday as well. So if you got something to do before the Villanova game, there's another game to catch. So wanted to shout out Keith Ergo.
I definitely saw them playing the other day, and I saw them twice this season, and I saw the record. And I was like, wow, like they're really doing good, like they're maintaining, and from last year.
Yep,
And then
yep,
I
and
saw them about a
Kyle,
week
yeah,
ago.
Kyle knows a big part of that. I was up there last year of just,
I was like,
just put
wow.
you talked about setting a culture, but I got a chance to sit with them for a couple days last year, just setting the culture and everyone believe in it. And then you see what happens if you believe in it and obviously get some talented players around that, you see how it can take off. So again, uh so awesome to watch him have that
Yeah,
success.
and that's huge. As someone coming from New York City, like Fordham is a job that's, from reputation wise, it's just like a job people don't want. Like they don't want that job.
Yep.
It looks attractive and things of that nature, but there's other things that just, that stand in the way of it being, a really good program. So to see it's actually doing means, maybe some people were able to come together a little bit and move the needle because I mean, beautiful campus, so much potential. New York, where it's at, like there's no way it should not be, one of the better schools in that division, basketball wise, because again, New York City has a lot of talent, upstate New York, Connecticut, where it's located.
I know
So
you think that's the best. I mean, obviously,
it ain't the best, but it's I mean, as far as one of the schools in New York City, you think it's one of the
no,
best
no,
as
I'm
far
talking
as
about the New
campus.
York talent. I know we've had plenty of
Oh,
discussions before on
it's
that.
not the same anymore. It's not the same anymore. I'm not gonna lie. DC, Texas seem to be doing they thing right now. But I also want to say it's just the fact that with all these outstanding prep schools and things of that nature, and kids being able to leave early, it's like okay, I'm from Brooklyn, but the last 4 years I've been going to school in Florida or something like that. Like so, I think it's just the way the game is developing, which is okay because this is the model Europe has. This is what I would see when I was playing in Europe and I'm on a team. I'm 23, 24, and there's a 15-year-old that might come to practice or something like that. Maybe not get in practice as much, but just whatever, just to make the team a little bit. But they might be from another part of France or wherever it may be. But they're part of that team affiliate, getting a stipend, learning to be a pro. And this is how they
Yep.
train. And I'm like, and then when I'm coaching and I see some of these young kids that I was on my team now getting drafted in the NBA, and I'm like, damn, that young kid. And we couldn't understand it before. Like, that dude's only averaging like 6 points. How's he getting drafted? It's like, dude's like 14, 15, 80 pounds less than playing against men. Like, you know what I mean? But when you put him against his age, dominating. And there's no secret. There's no secret why the best players in the NBA are all foreign. Sorry, they
There you
are.
go.
We only got a few left. A few left. They're about to retire. Best
Yep.
players that are American. Everybody else for a while it's going to be foreign players, and we got to catch up to their skill. You know.
Yep. You know what?
So
I got belief in it. We'll figure it out.
yeah, man, I got some plans. I got some plans to help it out.
Let me know. Let
That's
me know.
for sure, man. Ross, again, it was a pleasure talking to you. Give the family my love and blessing. I'll see you soon. Definitely, I'm
Absolutely.
coming out there
Safe
for a
travels to
game.
Africa.
I will, man. I'm gonna tell everybody about you. Tell my guys, Giles, E. They ask about you all the time. We have some great memories, man, for sure.
Absolutely. Something we won't talk about that here, but hey man, hey, V's up.
V's up, go Cats, man.
Go
Take care.
Cats.